Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Junction Support Services 2020 AGM. I'm Steve Lischke, and I will be your MC today. I'm Junction's newest member of the Committee of Management, and I joined the organisation in September of 2020. I'm really excited about the opportunity to be part of this amazing organisation who provides such a valuable service to our local community. I'd like to remind everyone who is face-to-face in one of our locations for today to follow the COVID-19 rules and use the hand sanitizer that is available at each location. Please be mindful of social distancing, staying 1.5 metres apart. And remember, if you are joining from one of our Victorian locations, there is still a requirement that you wear your face mask. Next, I'd like to introduce Taylor for acknowledgement to country.
G'day guys, for those who don't know me, my name's Taylor Hampton. I'm a proud Radjunity Empire man. I work for Junction Support Services as an integrated support worker within the Balmoral team. So I just want to acknowledge the traditional custodians on the lands on which we work and live for their continuing connection to land, water and community. I pay my respects to elders, past, present and emerging. I also want to acknowledge and recognise any First Nations people with us today. Before I finish off, I just want to play a piece on the Didge for you guys. Now this piece represents Junction's continuing connection to not just our First Nations clients, but also our colleagues, key stakeholders and community members. Thanks for tuning in guys. I hope you have a really good day and I hope to see you around the trap soon. Cheers.
We extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people here with us today. 2020 has certainly been the year of significant change for many of us personally, as well as us for an organisation, and today is no different, where we are coming to you broadcast across 3 different locations in our local community, and all as a result of the current restrictions of COVID-19. We'll now cross to each of those locations for a quick hello. With me here, I have Natasha Donahue, our Junction's Commercial and Finance Manager. We'll cross to you, Tash, for a quick wave and a hello.
Thanks, Steve. Hi, everyone. How are we? Let's pan around and say hi to everybody at the other side. Give them a big wave.
Great, thanks, Tash. We've got Kat Hodgins, the Specialist and Adolescent Services Manager, hosting our La Mason site. We'll cross to you now, Kat, for a quick wave and a hello.
Hi Steve, here we are at La Masons. Say hello everyone here.
Fantastic, thanks Kat. And last but not least, Rihanna Jones, our Youth Services Manager, hosting our Junction head office in Wodonga.
Hello everyone, we're live at Junction. Everyone say hello. Did I get everyone?
Very good. Thank you, everyone. We'd also like to welcome those who are joining us online virtually today. We also have a number of special guests joining us at each of our locations as well as online, representing many organisations within our community. To mention a few, we have Northeast Flexible Learning Schools, Choice Learning, Northeast Learning, Local Learning and Employment Network, ANZ, RSM, Headspace Albury-Wodonga, the Department of Health and Human Services, Australian Childhood Foundation, Wodonga Council, Beyond Housing, the Department of Education and Training, and Melrose Primary School. And now to our formal proceedings. I'd like to welcome Junction's Chairperson, Neville McCormick, to officially open the AGM. Welcome, Neville.
Thank you, Steve, for the introduction and taking the role of the MC as our newest committee member. It's great to have you on board. I now formally declare Junction Support Services AGM of 2020 to be open. I also extend a special welcome to our guests joining us online and in person across various sites, including our Committee of Management, staff, volunteers, clients, stakeholders, supporters and corporate friends. We have a number of agenda items for the formal part of the meeting, and I can confirm that the ordinary business and special business resolutions has been tabled and approved by proxy vote by all committee members today. The minutes of the 2019 AGM are confirmed by myself and seconded by Sandra Dalton. I'm pleased to present to you now the annual report, including financial statements for the year ended 30th of June 2020. The audited accounts are unqualified and represent a true and accurate picture of the association. The following resolution has been passed: that Selwood Ackley Accounting Services Proprietary Limited be reappointed as the auditor of the association. This was moved by myself and seconded by Cheryl Hodgins. This year, Junction Support Services Incorporated made the decision to convert our company structure to a public company limited by guarantee. There are broad benefits to the association in converting to a company limited by guarantee, including, as an incorporated association, the association is only registered in the state of Victoria, so activities are generally limited to Victoria, while a company limited by guarantee is registered and can operate nationally. A corporation is more familiar legal structure for many, which may improve the association's marketing effort and instill greater confidence in national stakeholders. And many prospective donors and stakeholders prefer dealing with corporations as opposed to incorporated associations, which means the association may be more likely to receive grant funding from other state governments. As such, the following special resolutions have been passed: that the association convert to a company limited by guarantee by applying to be registered or incorporated as a prescribed body corporate, being a public company limited by guarantee, and registered under and in accordance with the Corporations Act 2001, pursuant to section 110 of the Associations and Corporations Reform Act 2012, and in consequence of that, A, in accordance with section 114 of the Act, upon transfer of incorporation of the association will cease to be incorporated under that Act, and the company will adopt and continue to carry on all business operations and affairs of the association, and a reference to the association in any and all contracts, records, communications and documents to be read as a reference to the company. And each existing member agreed to become members of the company, and any and all rights, privileges, obligations, liabilities, assets, income or debts, rights of the association will be rights of the company. As a consequence of passing of the above special resolution, and in order to comply with the requirements under the Corporations Act, and to ensure the continuation of the association's charitable status and the availability of tax concessions, a new constitution was required. A review of governance has occurred to enable the transition of committee members and other matters to be updated. As such, it is passed that effective from the date of registration as a company, the constitution of the company, a copy of which has been tabled, is approved and adopted as the governing rules of the company. As a consequence of passing of the above resolution, the application registration as a company would require a change of the company's name. Therefore, effective from the date of registration as a company, it is resolved that the name of the company be Junction Support Services Limited. And finally, that Megan Handley, in her capacity as CEO, and Natasha, in her capacity as Commercial and Finance Manager, are authorised to undertake or delegate the undertaking of the required steps necessary to ensure preparation and lodgement of all appropriate forms, certificates, notices, and other relevant documents required to give effect to resolutions 5, 6, and 7, including payment of any prescribed fees. So that concludes the formalities of Junction Support Services 2020 Annual General Meeting. And before I hand over to the CEO and staff presentations, I would like to say a few words. It was great to be here with you all today in what has been a very challenging year for organisations across all sectors. I've been proud to be a member of Junction for the past 31 years and to be part of supporting the staff to help people in need achieve their full potential. I'm especially proud of how the Junction team have come together over the past 12 months, where support for those in need has never been so important. Not only have the staff done this with exceptional compassion, flexibility, innovation, they have still managed to make substantial progress. Junction as an organisation has continued to grow and expand both in our service provision, specialist knowledge, and also in our influence within the community. This year we were proud to launch our strategic plan, which is the roadmap for our organisation over the next 3 years. This is exciting as we reform our company structure and broaden our reach to vulnerable people within our communities. I would like to take a moment to thank my fellow committee members, Sandra Dalton, Mary Ann Frankie, Cheryl Hodgins, Bern Hilditch, Linda Phillips, and Steve Biskey. Their time, effort and passion in ensuring strong governance, strategic direction and guidance to the executive team. This year we farewelled Albie Thompson after 19 years of service on Junction Committee. His expertise, guidance and passion for helping those in the community has been inspiring. We were proud to welcome Albie as a life member of Junction, where his contribution will be celebrated. Thank you to Megan, CEO, and her team of management for their hard work throughout the year. I'm sure you did not expect the unprecedented year like 2020 has delivered, yet the team have continued to meet the challenges they have faced. Thank you all, and I would now like to welcome Junction CEO Megan Handley to say a few words.
Thank you, Neville. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being with us here today and from across the various sites. This year, we embrace the COVID-19 restrictions as an opportunity to present some of our programs. Each site is linked to a partnership we have formed to assist in helping those in need to reach their full potential. ANZ Business Centre represents a partnership with ANZ, one of our corporate partners. Without them, our mobile counselling van would not be able to be on the road helping us to reach remote communities in 2021. La Mason and Gateway Village, where our partnership with local schools has enabled the Choice Alternative Education program to thrive. And our head office here at Junction, where this year more than 1,200 people in need presented to receive much needed support. Please enjoy chatting with each other about these programs with our committee, staff and volunteers over lunch. 2020 has been a remarkable year, one of unprecedented challenges and uncertainties. When I spoke at the last AGM, only a month into the role of CEO and eagerly awaited the challenges of the position, I could never have expected a first year like this. But despite the challenges, Junction's commitment to supporting those in need has remained strong. Our office remained open. Our carers of young people in residential care remained consistent and resilient, and our services and reach across the community continued in a new COVID normal way. We launched our 3-year strategic plan and strive to progress our strategic priorities. And as we reflect on our achievements this year, we can be proud of how far we have come. Today, you will see the amazing way the teams have worked to support people in innovative ways through COVID. And I want to thank them for their continued perseverance, dedication, and flexibility. Across the residential care program, this innovation has been strong. And as we have responded to the increase in young people with multiple and complex needs, including mental health, disability, and trauma. The growing need in this area and our success in developing new integrated complex care models to support dual presentations has led us to seek registration under the National Disability Insurance Scheme, where we can broaden our scope of services and further train and specialise in this area, which is guided by our Disability Action Plan. Our commitment to meeting the gap of young people leaving care saw us investing in a property where we can develop a step-down transition for young people entering independence. With a new focus on evidence-based programs and an evaluation framework, we engaged La Trobe University to evaluate our residential care and intensive case management models to enhance this service response into the future. But what we have been most proud of here at Junction is this shared commitment to ensuring our client voice is a foundation of our future advocacy and service design. The Deep Dive project was a perfect example of this, and Junction's participant voice framework will guide us to achieve our strategic priority of child and family partnerships over the coming years. The above successes would not have been possible without a strong commitment from the Junction team. I have been so appreciative of the unwavering commitment and support the executive team and senior leadership team have shown through the past 12 months, and I want to thank them and the COVID response team for their advice and leadership. I would like to extend my thanks and gratitude to our newly named Board of Directors who have remained committed to the best interests of our clients and workforce throughout the year. We continue to be open to new ways of doing business and with trust and enthusiasm. And to Neville, our chairman, I have been honoured to be working for the community alongside you this year. Neville's commitment to serving the community is undeniable, not only with his 31 years of service with Junction Support Services and his vision of communities without disadvantage, but also with his roles on various other committees. Thank you for your guidance, support and trust in me and the Junction team, and I look forward to another great year working with you. Thank you all for being here today and for working with, supporting or volunteering with Junction. It is with these strong partnerships that we can continue changing lives. Thank you everyone, and I'll hand back to Steve at ANZ.
Thank you, Megan and Neville. Junction started over 30 years ago in 1989 in Wangaratta with one person to prevent homelessness and one support worker. Today, we employ more than 185 people, 40 volunteers, and one mission to support families and individuals to achieve their full potential. We support parents, young people in care, people experiencing homelessness, family violence, victim survivors. We support young people to re-engage in education and young drivers. Junction has been changing lives since 1989. This year has been difficult for everyone. In the midst of this difficulty often comes innovation, creativity and flexibility. This has certainly been the case with Junction's approach to continuing to provide services throughout 2020. This video gives a light-hearted snapshot of what has been done.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, Junction staff continued to provide active support to clients many of whom were experiencing additional degrees of complexities due to isolation and vulnerabilities. Despite spending periods working remotely, the teams remained actively connected to their clients and to each other and found diverse ways of promoting engagement. This included strategies such as Zoom calls, WhatsApp, lengthy phone chats, meeting in outdoor locations and walk and talk appointments, delivering food share, office visits, and delivering materials to then engage clients online to complete activities. Our families team conducted online group sessions of drumbeat and bringing up great kids. The youth, SAS and families teams also provided extensive support to clients through the use of Junction's Safe at Home funding. These funds provided a creative and dynamic way for staff to support their clients to remain at home during the pandemic. Items that were funded included games and puzzles, arts and craft, mobile phones, and phone credit. The SAS and families teams created cookbooks for clients and dropped off ingredients, and then engaged over Zoom to do joint cooking or make Play-Doh. The SAS team provided activities such as scavenger hunts and gardening packs to engage clients in a similar way. The teams have also used Zoom as a way to stay connected with each other, given not all staff saw each other in person due to office rostering. All teams have engaged in daily Zoom meetings as a way to promote connection and well-being. This was made a bit more fun and interactive with activities such as Zoom yoga classes and funny hat days. 2020 has been a year we will never forget. However, the resilience of our clients and the dedication and innovation of staff is what we would prefer to remember.
Sure, you can all agree it's been a pretty exciting and plenty of fun had throughout the year. We'll now hear about Junction's commitment to education with a presentation from our Education Program Manager, Cassie Diano. Cassie and the Choice Learning team are going to show us around at Choice and tell us more about the program.
I'm the Education Program Manager at Junction Support Services. We're here today to talk about one of our programs, Choice Learning. So Choice is a partnership between Wodonga Senior Secondary College, Wodonga Middle Years College and Junction Support Services, which supports young people to re-engage in education. So the program is overseen by myself, as well as my manager, Kat Hodgins, who's the Specialist Adolescent Services Manager, and we support the enrolments through Choice Learning, identified through the Navigator program, education support, and young people who are in residential out-of-home care. And all the young people that attend Choice have an enrolment at Middle Years College. And we're going to talk a bit about the partnership today. So I'd like to make a special thank you to Vern Hilditch and Wodonga Senior Secondary College, and we have David Whitehead to talk about that partnership. Thanks for joining me, David.
Thanks, Cassie. My name's David Whitehead. I'm the campus principal for the North East Flexible Learning Network, including Choice Learning. The Flexible Learning Network consists of 4 centres across the North East and primarily set up to cater to young people who've completely disengaged from education and then at some point made the decision that they would like to re-engage and get back into education, but for whatever reason can't make it to a mainstream school. Choice learning, whilst very similar, is slightly different in that it's a registered school site and it's legitimately part of the Department of Education, but there was seen a need for some probably primarily younger students who were unable to really even make it into a flexible learning centre due to high levels of anxiety or trauma or whatever the reason was, but really high needs young people. And it's evolved over the last few years to become something that's really, I think, kicking some goals and really meeting the needs of young people in the Wodonga area. And really thanks has to go to Junction and the Senior College, led by Vern Hilditch, that they've been flexible enough to allow that to happen.
Yeah, thanks, David. I think it's a great partnership and I think it definitely meets the needs of some of our most vulnerable young people. What would you say that's been most successful with the partnership, and what do you see as some of the biggest successes?
I think really from the school side of things, probably the first and foremost thing is that there's been a philosophy of, we cater to every student in Wodonga. And that's really thanks to Vern, who's, built that culture across Wodonga. And so no one gets left behind, everyone is catered to, and the schools, embrace that. The staff at Choice can concentrate on the education. So, they go into so much more depth than what, is able in a mainstream school, because they are, just working at a much better ratio. So they can really get into the nitty-gritty of, where the students are, develop an individual education plan with them and really cater to their needs on an individual level, whilst the caseworkers from Navigator or other Junction workers are able to be there supportive, and looking after the well-being of the students.
So some of the young people that we see come through that are disengaged with education face a multitude of barriers, and that can be anything from low socioeconomic family, experiencing family violence, lack of access to supports and other services, mental health, parental substance use in the home, homelessness, child protection involvement, a long history of misschooling, significantly behind academically, undiagnosed mental health, undiagnosed learning difficulties, and the list goes on. Once accessing Choice, we then are able to focus on those different learning gaps or their academic needs, and allow the teachers to actually get down to what it is that they need to do with the young people. So joining me today is one of our amazing Choice teachers, Ryan. Thanks for joining us, Ryan.
Pleasure.
Would you mind introducing yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Ryan. This is my second year here at Choice Learning and second year up in the northeast. I'm a former teacher from the outer north of Melbourne and working in the public system, had a Masters of Education really focused on trauma-informed education, and at my previous school I helped develop a whole school approach to create a trauma-informed approach to the way that we taught our young people.
What would you say, once you've got them here in the classroom, are the ongoing challenges for them, or the biggest missing links that you see?
If I can speak to literacy, we really notice that there's a cohort of students coming in and they're 14 years old, 13 years old, but their early literacy skills are functioning not far out of kindergarten. So there's some really critical early literacy skills, a thing called phonemic awareness and their phonics, where essentially if they're not skilled in phonemic awareness, they won't become skilled readers. Yeah. And importantly, these are early skills that are foundational to their ability to access other areas. So we really we run our assessments to identify where their needs are at, and then we have a targeted intervention. And we have the expectation that no matter where they're at, we will be able to rapidly accelerate their literacy and numeracy growth. And we've demonstrated that with students improving their spelling and writing, or spelling and reading, by 3 years within 9 months.
Yeah, wow.
So
That's incredible.
yeah, there are these really critical skills that once they become proficient in them, then it really opens up their ability to start, engaging and accelerating their learning. Because all students come in here wanting to learn, but they've had past experiences of really struggling with it. And when we can build their skills up to a level that then they realise that when they're receiving the support and their efforts then translate into their growth, we see really fantastic results.
Yeah, and I guess that success then continues to propel them to come, and their attendance increases, and we see less behaviours, and everything sort of starts to work in their favour after that. So some of the ongoing barriers that we do see once the young people are engaged at Choice are the relationship building that we continue to do with the family. Sometimes there's many barriers to returning to education that aren't the young person's alone. Sometimes it extends to parents and family members. There might be a negative experience with education settings, fear of institutions, transport is a big one, and just that ongoing relationship, contact and correspondence that a school might need to have with young people. So Choice do that really uniquely, and I think the teachers always go above and beyond and continue to provide a really high service, not only to that young person but to the family members. So I'm joined today by our other amazing Choice teacher, Julie. And Julie, could you please introduce yourself?
Hi, yes. So I'm Julie Whitehead. I come from a background of 35 plus years of mainstream teaching in classrooms, but also with a big emphasis in health and welfare as part of my teaching career. So 10 years as a welfare coordinator and things. So this program sits really nicely with my dual abilities as both a classroom teacher and as a welfare-based person.
So Julie, what would you say some of the additional supports and strategies are that you continue to implement to not help only that young person re-engage in education, but also parents and family members?
Do a lot of work before a child even attends Choice, working with whether it's allied health services or the navigator team or previous schools that the child might have attended, to gather as much background on that child as we can, so that we know what sort of barriers that they primarily face. The second part is that we then work with the child to see if they can identify some of their triggers, some of their barriers, and they actually get a say. We ask them, what can we do for you? We do a lot of work around trying to identify, we get fairly good at recognising if a child is struggling emotionally, socially, things like that, and so we do a lot of interventions, non-academic interventions around that. So very, very child focused, and we like to believe we know our kids really, really well. The third area is parent contact. As you said, a lot of parents have had negative experiences with schooling, and so we work really hard to develop positive relationships with parents, and we have a lot of contact with our parents. We try and keep them informed as to exactly where their child is at. Luckily, our students seem to have a lot of positive experiences, so we're able to give a lot of positive feedback to parents. The fact that we provide transport and lunches and things like that for these kids goes a long way to reducing some of those barriers as well. The probably fourth main area is our connection with the schools that we then try and transition their students back into. So we've developed quite a positive and strong relationship back with the middle year school in particular, because that's where most of our students will go back to, but also with senior college and with the flexible learning centres, where some of our students as they leave here progress on to. So there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes to make sure that they have a smooth transition path for when they do leave Choice. And then the fifth and obviously main one is our relationship with the Navigator program in particular, and the case managers, who we have a very, very strong connection with and a lot of contact with, because it's very, very much a two-way street. It's very much a very cohesive partnership that we have with the case managers, because what goes on in this child's background when they leave Choice Learning very much affects what happens when they come back to class the next day. Yeah. Having that deep understanding of where a child is coming from, what their what their barriers, what their triggers are, what their strategies are for self-regulation.
Yeah.
And how we can help with that, because a lot of these students are still an age where they're learning that self-regulation.
Yeah.
So that's also a lot of what Ryan and I do is help direct them towards that direction of self-regulation as well.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much, Billy.
Right.
Thank you, Cassie, David, Ryan and Julie for sharing some amazing work that you're doing for young people in our community. Our next segment highlights family and children's services work to support family violence survivors with Families and Children's Services Manager Talia McCulloch.
Hi, I'm Talia. I'm the manager of the Families and Children's Programs here at Junction. Today I'm really excited to be launching our mobile counselling space, which we've named The Coach. The Coach stands for Community Outreach and Counselling Hub. So in 2018, ANZ hosted a charity dinner in which over $100,000 was raised by the Albury-Wodonga community. Of that, just over $48,000 was donated to Junction, which we've used to purchase the mobile van. So the Coach will be used to provide outreach counselling in rural and remote areas, particularly in fire-affected areas where trauma recovery could take years. So we're really excited to be able to provide this service in those local communities where people live, where they feel safe and supported. So a huge thank you to the ANZ Bank for their very generous donation and allowing these communities to be provided with the therapeutic services that they need.
Hi, I'm one of the children's counsellors here at Junction Support Services. My name's Kristen. Look, I'm super excited about the Coach and the service that it's going to bring to our community. So in child and adolescent counselling, we often use schools and different spaces as our outreach. So the Coach brings a space, a unique space that we can use to deliver that service to the community, to the children that need it the most. So the rural communities and the kind of communities that are hard to reach are where we're hoping that the Coach will allow us to go to places we haven't been able to go to before due to lack of space or lack of resources, and just that they're difficult for us to engage clients there. So the Coach allows us to take our resources with us. So these are some of the things we use in child and adolescent counselling. And so here's my feelings hand. And so this Coach allows us to take our service and take our resources and all of our skills and have this unique space where we can do what we do best, which is talking to children about their worries, about their emotions, about the troubles they've been facing, obviously specialising in family violence. So the Coach allows us to deliver our service in a unique way, using the tools that we have and reaching remote communities.
Hi, I'm Chris from ANZ and I'm here with Gary today. We're just here to share our journey with Junction over the last few years. We wanted to, share the story of how our charity event came to be. It would be about 3 years ago. We decided to align with a local organisation, being the Albury-Wodonga Cancer Centre, just given it was so pivotal to our local community. And we lent on our local customers and business partners and product partners, so people that are around us, and just the support that we received was really overwhelming. And we raised over $75,000 in that first charity event. And the impact was just enormous, and we didn't realise that we could achieve something so huge. So in the following year, we wanted to have another go, but we wanted to align with another great organisation in our community, and we started a bit of a search that's for something that aligned with our values. And then we had Junction come in to present to us, and it really had a massive impact on our staff. And I'll hand over to Gary there.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. It was a compelling meeting that was held initially, and some of the stories and the work and the events that were shared from Junction as to the influence that they can have was an unbelievable learn for us, and so it was a no-brainer in our selection process, I guess, in aligning ourselves to Junction Support Services. And we were rapt to have another event where, again, we reached out to the community, to our customers and our product partners. We were able to import Dylan Alcott into the area over the couple of days that we had various functions as fundraisers. Dylan's an ambassador of ANZ and a great supporter of ours. He was at the charity event. We had a tennis day as another fundraising activity, and we were able to come up with a significant number. It was over $100,000 at the second attempt for our charity event, a very supportive community, and we were able to split that between the Cancer Centre Trust and Junction Support Services. And the money that we were able to provide has been turned into a purpose-built facility, the Coach, and so a greater reach that now Junction Support Services can do by taking their services to other areas and outlying areas that it might be a bit remote and not normally reached. And so it's been a fabulous journey, and so we're very, very grateful for Junction allowing us to partner with them, and ANZ's proud to be able to support with the funds that we were able to raise. So thanks for letting us join you. Please use the van, the Coach, in the great purpose for what it was built for, and thanks very much for letting us present today. Thank you.
Thanks, Talia, and the team for bringing that to life and sharing that with us. And a huge thank you to ANZ. It's amazing what two organisations can achieve when they come together with a common purpose. It's amazing to see that. And I must admit the Coach looks pretty cool. So I hope lots of people reach out and use that service. 2020 has been the year of the client voice, and we are pleased to have our Community Development Manager, Rachel, and our Diversity and Inclusion Officer, Savannah, tell us a bit more about the work Junction are doing to listen to the client voice and embed inclusive practices across our organisation.
Hi, I'm Rachel, the Community Development Manager here at Junction. My role's been funded by Junction to help increase capacity across the organisation to engage with our communities. It's also funded to actually start to work and establish some bigger projects for the organisation. One of these big projects is called the Deep Dive. The Deep Dive is a newspaper that tells the story of many of our clients' experience of mental health and wellbeing. From the start, we included our young people. We even had a young person who became our artistic director, and her name is Corey. It was an incredible project where over 25 young people participated, and these are young people from our residential houses, from youth refuge, and also other young people who have come into contact with Junction for a range of reasons. From those 25 young people, there was over 70 individual engagements, of telling stories, participating in artworks. And from that, over 100 hours of engagement happened to develop this incredible newspaper. So this piece of work is being used now to advocate strongly for better services, for more funding, and also just to really educate, I guess, ministers and the government about what it actually looks like to have an experience of mental health in our region. So in May this year, we launched the Deep Dive newspaper, which was really exciting. We held a week of activities, everything from drumbeat to cooking, drawing, learning how to relax, some yoga in there as well. We had over 500 individuals engage in our online campaign and over 250 individuals actually at our launch online as well. I've got a video now for you that shows the making of the Deep Dive project. dive is a really great example of how Junction places importance on the voice of the client. We really believe that the voice of the client has a lot of power, and as the deep dive has shown, the actual voices, the stories, the experiences, and also the opportunities for change can make a real difference. Another project I've been working on, which really ties well into this, is the Participant Voice Framework. The Participant Voice Framework outlines the importance of involving our clients in decision making, not only in their own service experience, for example, filling in a feedback form at the end of service, but also offering the opportunity to have input into the change and development of Junction Support Services as a whole. The framework has a commitment from Junction and also includes best practice and theories from across Australia and the world around engaging people in conversations, engaging people in change making, and how we can do that in a really meaningful way. It ties into our current practice frameworks and also really looks at some of those ethical issues that we need to consider when we're asking people for their opinions. The framework also has an attached action plan, and this action plan will ensure that we improve our feedback mechanisms and add additional mechanisms to embed participant voice across the organisation. So today, it's my great pleasure to launch the Participant Voice Framework. I'm really excited to see how it's going to impact our practice going forward, and I think it will only make for a better, stronger Junction.
Hi, I'm Savannah, and my role at Junction Support Services is the Diversity and Inclusions Officer. My role as the Diversity and Inclusions Officer is important as it is a dedicated position to creating inclusive and safe practice here for clients, staff, volunteers and students who identify within diverse communities. A diverse community can be Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander, culturally and linguistically diverse. It can be people with disability, and also LGBTQI+, meaning lesbian, gay, bisexual, intersex, transgender and gender diverse, and queer and questioning. Not only is creating an inclusive, safe workplace and service best practice, but under the Equal Opportunity Act, organisations like Junction have a positive duty to prevent discrimination. By funding my role at Junction, they are showing their commitment to inclusivity. In my role as the Diversity and Inclusions Officer, I've been working on the Rainbow Tick accreditation. The Rainbow Tick accreditation is a nationally recognised standard that services need to meet to show that they are inclusive and safe for LGBTQI+ individuals. In meeting this accreditation, I've been working with the Rainbow Tick working group internally at Junction, made up of staff who are also passionate about creating a more inclusive and safe environment here at Junction. Also within this work, I've created external partnerships and also peer working groups with other organisations who are also going through the Rainbow Tick accreditation process. By doing this, we can ensure across our community of Albury-Wodonga and abroad that we are creating a safe and inclusive benchmark. The Rainbow Tick accreditation is about a whole cultural shift. It's about looking at our policies and procedures, how we employ people, what programs we offer here, and it's exciting to think that we are going towards a more inclusive and safe environment, meaning that if you are a service user and you need housing support, you know that we are an LGBT friendly organisation. You know, if you are someone looking for a job, you know that Junction Support Services is a Rainbow Tick accredited organisation and you will not be discriminated against here. It puts us out there as a service that is safe and inclusive, and within a small community already, it's a need. It's definitely a need within our community.
Thank you, Rachel and Savannah. Really exciting work there, really putting the client at the heart of everything that we do as an organisation, and really showing us a positive step forward in our inclusive approach to the community. Finally, for today, I bring you an exciting initiative from two of our service managers, Annie and Rihanna, and they'll share with us an exciting initiative so that no child misses out this Christmas. This is one I'm personally excited about, and I hope everyone who's here today spends a bit of time to understand a little bit more themselves about how they can get involved.
My name's Rihanna and I'm the Youth Services Manager here at Junction.
My name's Annie and I'm the Continued Care Service Manager at Junction.
This year, Junction have decided to do Christmas a little differently. We understand that this has been a really tough year for a lot of people and that Christmas might also be a really difficult time. The COVID-19 pandemic has challenged us all in so many ways, but can also bring us together as a community. This year, Junction have decided to organise a toy drive to help support our local community.
So Junction are teaming up with some wonderful local businesses across Albury, Wodonga, and they've kindly agreed to support us. Henry's Bakery in Wodonga, Camera House in Albury, Beaumont Tiles in Wodonga, and PT Fitness in Wodonga. These local businesses will be drop-off points for new, unwrapped gifts and presents for our children and young people. You can also make monetary donations. If you would like to do that, please come down to Junction Reception and see lovely Michelle and she will assist you.
If you would like to donate to our toy drive, please drop off donations at any of the drop-off points that we've talked about today or pop into the Junction office.
From all of us here at Junction, please have a safe and wonderful Christmas and we'll see you next year.
Thank you, Annie and Rihanna. Really exciting initiative there around how we can really help children this Christmas. So that meets the end of our AGM for today. What we've heard throughout today is some really exciting change and how the organisation has adapted to continue to offer service through the COVID-19 pandemic, showing opportunities to provide flexibility and innovative ideas around how we continue to deliver services. We heard some really exciting work in what we're doing in education from Cassie. We also heard about our new and exciting coach in partnership with ANZ. So thank you very much for your continued support. We also heard about the client voice framework and our inclusive practices, which is a really exciting step forward. And last but not least, don't forget the toy drive. And we've got Annie here in ANZ, so she's here to help with all the questions and find out how we can be involved. I'd like to thank everyone who's attended face-to-face at any of our 3 locations, or for those who have joined us online. This closes the presentations and the live feed will soon end. For those who have joined us online. For those who will be staying at any of our locations, please enjoy the lunch that will be provided. And please don't forget the COVID safe practices as we mingle. Thank you, and this closes the AGM.